Scooby-Dooby-Doo, where are you? We got some work to do now.
It's time for Corey's Cartoon Hour. Hi, everyone. Corey Johnson. We've decided to postpone or cancel today's Neutral Ground episode, and instead we're going to play some Scooby-Doo reruns from 50 years ago or so. Back-to-back Scooby-Doo reruns coming your way next. Stick around, folks. Instead of Shaggy, how about Mr. Drew Brees? Ah, yes. Number 9 bailing us out. Shaggy would be all right. I hear he can throw the ball pretty well. Shaggy's long and lean. Looks like he'd be a good pitcher. Thank you, number 9, Mr. Drew Brees. From I was about to say Palo Alto, excuse me. Not that affluent part of California. That's Northern California, outside of San Fran, basically. Stanford-ish. No, La Jolla, outside of San Diego. One of the richest, most affluent areas on planet Earth. Really nice, to say the least. Corey Johnson back at you. I think Drew Brees and his wife were dressed up as Yellowstone characters, if I'm not mistaken. And I could easily be mistaken. Anyway, I saw something, Drew Brees and his wife for Halloween. It is Halloween. Are you dressed up? I'll tell you what, it's like 60, 61, 62. I'm not trying to put a damper on folks' outfits that are, designed for 70-degree weather. But yeah, you might have to put something on over it because right now, like the 60, 61 degrees doesn't feel like 60 or 61. Feels like 55 and kind of cold and blustery wind. It just feels colder than 60 or 61 on the old thermometer. At least that's what I think outside. And the humidity's kind of low. You would think high humidity would make it feel colder, more wind chilling, wet, but it's like 40-something% humidity. Anyway, as things get into the evening, we'll be dipping definitely into the 50s and into the 40s when we wake up tomorrow morning. So depending on how late you're out tonight on Halloween, it could get a little chilly out there. So be careful. Happy Halloween. Are you dressing up? What's your costume? Rouse's Markets phone line, 766-9480. 766-9480. I was talking to a girl today about 30 years old, was dressed sort of like a cat, partially dressed as a cat, partially dressed in her work outfit still. She's 30 and she's like, no, I love Halloween. It's like you're a kid again. You can be like a kid again. And well, what's wrong with that every now and then? Being like a kid again. I'm not saying you have to do it. I'm not saying I'm not pointing a finger at folks that don't dress up for Halloween or don't embrace being a kid again every now and then. I'm not saying you're doing something wrong. I just think it's probably good for you, healthy for you. Always good to get out of your comfort zone, as it were, every now and then. And I think comfort zone or not, being a kid, I don't know how that's a bad thing. I mean, you outgrow being a child full time. Doesn't mean you can't dip into being a kid every now and then. I know a lot of adults when it's Christmas and their boys opening up a Christmas gift, they're helping them set it up. They're playing with it a little while. They're enjoying it for a few minutes. Glad their kids have it. Not playing with it full time, but it's nice to be able to be a kid for a little while. Halloween does that. Plus, I like candy. Those little M&Ms, the little mini pack of M&Ms, that might be the best one of them all, huh? And boy, the worst Halloween candy, I don't even think they've got this anymore. I shouldn't even say I don't think there's no way they have this anymore. When I was a kid, they had just this no brand name, no nothing. It was just orange wax paper twisted candy and one in black. Wax paper just twisted on each end, some kind of candy inside. One was orange, one was black, and there's no name on it. Yeah, I don't know what it was. Something that was like found on the floor of the candy factory. I don't know what that was. You couldn't trade that for anything. There was no one that wanted the orange and black wax paper candy that had no name, no ingredients, no nothing. How was that, USDA approved, for crying out loud? That PAL gum, PAL gum, that gum lasts like 10 seconds. It's like, oh, that's good. Oh, wow, lots of sugar. Oh, it's over with. It's like explosive sugar gone in a second. Sweet tarts. Yum, yum, yum. When they started miniaturizing like big candies when I was a kid, like the mini Hershey bar, the Crackle, those were great, the little mini ones. And then they came up with the thicker, chunkier nuggets a few decades later. Then they started downsizing everything, which was cool at Halloween, like little Skittles, following like the mini M&M's bag and the like. Any of those big Snickers, Three Musketeers in the little mini one-bite form, what's wrong with any of that? Nothing. Halloween's great. Candy corn's kind of just crappy. No one wants that. No one wants something that's not wrapped or covered. Now, when I grew up, there would be like the person that would just leave a bowl out with a sign, please just take one. We might take two and giggle and pee in our pants and think we robbed the bank. Maybe. But no one ever took a handful. No one ever, hey, look at Johnny. He's emptying the bowl. But I know, this was the 70s. It was a different time. Now I think kids would empty the bowl. The please take one sign, that would last for about 30 seconds. That would last for two kids. Anyway, Halloween, trick or treat. It's getting dark quicker. Around 6:15, it's dark now. It's crazy. Like 6:15. And that daylight savings time, whatever, that bomb's about to drop soon. As we fade into November, just in a few weeks, it'll be dark at 5:15. Sort of depressing. Tuesday afternoon edition of the program. Got an absolutely full slate. A lot going on. 4 o'clock hour. Brought to you by, where is it? Nope. Jeez and Pete's. Nope. Where's the card? They usually give me the card. All right. 4 o'clock hour. Brought to you by Fausto's Italian Bistro. Opening their doors for dinner in 45 short minutes. At 5 o'clock, they'll open up for dinner, and they'll roll till 9 p.m. You can dine outside at 5. It's a little cool and windy outside, but I think you can get away with it at 5 o'clock, outdoor dining, or sit at the bar, dine inside, to-go orders. Simply put, some of the city's best Sicilian and Italian. It's Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets. They open at 5 p.m. They go till 9. Be there tonight. You won't be disappointed. Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets tonight for dinner. The OIG sends a letter to the sheriff, Susan Hudson. The sheriff's office doesn't use this. The acronym is BRASS, Budget Requisition Accounting Services System. They're on some old system. Basically, Sherriff Hutson can't really tell you how the $70 million a year is being spent at the sheriff's office. No records, no accounting of where the money's going. Boy, that Channel 4 story, huh? The mayor sheriff didn't use the hotel rooms over Mardi Gras. The sheriff is in a relationship or was in a relationship with Kristen Morales. I knew those two were friends. I've talked about that for a year now. Kristen Morales and Sherriff Hutson living together, sharing a house or apartment, roommates. This story insinuates in a relationship. I don't even care. Living together, friends, roommates, don't care if it's a relationship or not. I'm concerned about taxpayer money, favoritism. Morales gets fired from the Office of Inspector General for theft and immediately gets scooped up by the sheriff's office and goes from making 90 grand to like $150. It's just kind of crazy. We'll talk about that and more next.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, insagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, insagency.com.
Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
The French bread of the city of New Orleans. Good to the last crumb. Leidenheimer French bread.
Francesca Deli and Pizzeria has over 15 specialty sandwiches, a big 10-ounce burger, and some of the best pizza in New Orleans. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes are magazine, as unique as you.
River Cities Total Maintenance keeps you cool, New Orleans. NOLAAC.com is your cool spot. Fausto's Italian Bistro on Veterans Boulevard, where the brothers Fausto and Roland are serving some of the city's finest Sicilian and Italian cuisine. From New Orleans' first family of Sicilian and Italian cooking, Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
When a young man comes in and they walk into our store and you can see they're a little intimidated. Last week, I saw the young man. I said, "Hey, what can I do to give you a hand?" And he said, "Well, I'm here for an engagement ring, but I don't think I'm in the right place." So I got him to my desk, and within an hour, he had purchased an engagement ring, had spent $1,000, and he was treated like he spent a lot more, and I'm sure we have a customer for life. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Did you know Rouse's sells only Angus beef? Angus beef's natural marbling means more succulence and flavor. Whether you choose Rouse's USDA Prime, Choice, or Select, it'll be only Angus beef when you get it at Rouse's. Tastes like home.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day. By river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com. Yeah, you right, Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson back at you. Yeah, I'm not any worse, better than anybody else. I'm not better than anyone, and no one's better than me. We're all the same. But I say this not in like a snobby way, just sort of observational way. New Orleans drivers sometimes are just terrible drivers. You go to other cities, especially big cities, folks kind of get the left lane is the fast lane, the left lane's for passing, things like that. There's sort of an awareness on the road. Just seems a lot of folks here either are unaware, oblivious, or know the law and just sort of have a belligerent attitude, get off on slowing people down or causing slowdowns on the road, whatever. Generally speaking, I'd say Metro New Orleans area drivers, maybe Louisiana drivers compared to other cities and states, we're maybe just not as good at driving or don't take it as seriously. I don't know what it is. Sort of Sunday driving mentality. I have no idea. This diverging diamond interchange in Kenner at Loyola, it's like, are you trying to implode people's brains? My God. People aren't going to have any idea how to handle that. If you've exited off of I-10 at that D'Iberville exit, I guess, what is it? Biloxi, I-510, not 510, the I-110, I guess, going south. Is it an exit past that? I know it's before Ocean Springs. I guess it's Biloxi Plus, right past Biloxi, going towards Ocean Springs. I think it is, there's a few exits there. There's like a town center thing at D'Iberville on the north side of I-10 that has 100 restaurants, a Home Depot, a Super Walmart. It's got just a bunch of stuff. And they're literally like 3 exits essentially to it. There's like the main exit that goes right through the middle of it. And there's kind of a back door exit and there's like a front door exit. The front door exit, I think where like the Ray Brandt Mercedes dealership is, maybe where the BMW dealership is, Volkswagen, that exit has a diverging diamond interchange where for a little while you're driving like on a European road, I guess. You're going in whatever direction you want to go. Instead of being in the right lane, you're in the left lane for a little while. And then they call it a diamond because there's a stoplight where you go back to being on the right side of the road. So literally you exit, and as you turn left, you're staying down low. Like you're not driving on the right side of the road. You're driving on the left side of the road for a little while. And then there's a diamond interchange at a stoplight where you go towards the right and get back going kind of the non-British way, driving on the right side of the road, not the left side of the road. Yeah, it's confusing enough just explaining it. Diverging diamond interchange. There's been one at that D'Iberville exit off I-10 near Biloxi, Ocean Springs in Mississippi, about an hour and 10 minutes down I-10 from New Orleans. I'd say that thing's been there a decade now. I don't know of any other one anywhere that I've ever driven on, in at least in the South. I think I've been on a few up north that have been around for decades. But that D'Iberville exit is one, and now the Loyola exit at I-10 with the new airport entrance exit flyover ramps. There's a diverging diamond interchange underneath, which someone is going to have to go past the, immediately left, go against traffic, cut around some crazy turn that's impossible to hook a U-turn on, and will forcefully try to get on the right side of the road, which will be oncoming traffic. That's got to happen once. Someone's going to drive across the median or grass. There has to be a high curb to stop that. Someone may drive up on the curb and screw up their car doing it out of just total confusion. Corey Johnson with you on a Tuesday afternoon. Hey, I've got 50 big bucks for you. Good at one of the 5 area Woodhouse Day Spa locations. Count them 5. Mid-City, New Orleans. Canal Street at Carrollton. Metairie near North Kenner. Transcontinental at West Esplanade. They're in Slidell, about a minute off the Gauze exit off I-10. They're in Mandeville, East Causeway approach, about 90 seconds off the Causeway Bridge across the street from Mandeville City Hall. And they're in Baton Rouge by the Mall of Louisiana, 5 area Woodhouse Day Spa locations to take a virtual tour, to print gift cards, gift certificates online, any denomination, to book a visit to any of the 5 area Woodhouse locations. Just go online, woodhousespas.com. I've got 50 big bucks for you. Rouse's Markets phone lines to participate, 766-9480. Checking us out on the radio, oh so fine, 93.9 FM, 93.9 FM. New Orleans' own 107.9 FM. Checking us out live streaming, KareTalks.com, our website. Maybe you're on YouTube. Check out our YouTube channel, The Neutral Ground with Corey Johnson. Click to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Maybe you're watching on television, statewide, Cox Channel 4 TV, 4 to 5:30 weekday afternoons. Statewide, Spectrum Channel 333 TV. However you're checking us out, Rouse's Markets phone lines apply to you. You can dial us up. Area code 504-766-9480. 766-9480. If Huey Long was the father of LSU Baton Rouge, who was the father of UNO? Who was the father of UNO? Hey, speaking of UNO, what caused the Naval Air Station to move from what is presently UNO, they were out by the lakefront, to move to Belle Chase? Why did they make that move? Give me the answer to either one of those questions or this one. Who was New Orleans' own Ruth Benarito? Ruth Benarito. You got the answer to that? I got 50 big bucks for you. Good at one of the 5 area Woodhouse Day Spa locations. Rouse's Markets phone lines, 766-9480. The OIG sends a letter to the sheriff's office, to Sherriff Hutson, basically because she keeps no records. There's no accounting of where the money's going, yet she wants more money. There's this budget requisition accounting services system that the city uses. It's called BRASS. That's the acronym. The sheriff doesn't use it. The OIG recommending she use it. Channel 4 had a story about the inefficiencies in the sheriff's department. That David Trautenberger guy who was let go by the sheriff, he was the whistleblower. Sheriff fired him, complaining about these hotel rooms around Mardi Gras, the misuse of public funds, dozens of rooms going unused by the sheriff, according to Trautenberg in this Channel 4 report. He's got a wrongful termination lawsuit against the sheriff. Yeah, he says the sheriff didn't use a lot of the hotel rooms. He also says the sheriff is having a relationship, or was, with Kristen Morales, the deputy sheriff. Now, I've always told you that was a wrong hire. Fired by the Office of Inspector General for theft. Goes to court, loses appeals it and loses, just gets fired for theft, and she stole, it's legit, sues to clear her name, loses both times, costing the citizens, the taxpayers, the OIG's office money that could be spent on investigations, rooting out more Kristen Morales type situations. Right away, Sheriff Susan Hutson hires her. She was making $90,000 at the OIG's office, about $155,000, I believe, at the sheriff's office, kind of deputy sheriff, Mr. Spock, second in charge. Now, I told you that Sheriff Hutson and Morales were friends, that they once lived together, shared an apartment house. They're very good friends, and left it at that. I heard other rumors, but I didn't think it was relevant. It's almost like the only relevant part, it's like the mayor with Vappy. I never talked about their alleged relationship. I don't care, but the, subordinate, boss kind of situation is definitely an abuse of power. And you could argue that here as well. That's the only thing. But what I'm looking for is just, someone getting hired that doesn't deserve the job. That's why I brought up the friendship and live together. I don't care if they're in a relationship that's true or not. It doesn't matter. They live together. They're friends. She hired her pal, all that. That's what matters. Makes $155,000 doing what? We do not know. No, that's what matters. And then the hotel rooms and not using them and not part of the brass accounting system. No, just a rogue agent learning on the fly to boot.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
For over 20 years, serving healthy, fresh, authentic Middle Eastern cuisine, Lebanon's Cafe. In the Carrollton section of Uptown on the streetcar line, Wednesday through Monday, 11 a.m. to 9:30. Lebanon's Cafe. For Leidenheimer Baking Company, producing the perfect French bread is more than a vocation. It's a sacred mission. And for 5 generations, they've used the same time-honored process, baking their signature loaf with its crisp crust and delicate center, unique and still good to the last crumb. From the finest French Quarter restaurants to your local po' boy shop, for over 125 years, New Orleans' own Leidenheimer.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamarck Automotive Complex is something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We do in all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
When USA Today ranked the 10 best must-visit New Orleans restaurants for travelers, Mid-City's own Katie's made the list. USA Today says Scott Craig is chef-owner at Katie's, a much-loved Creole Italian eatery that draws armies of regulars for lunch, brunch, and dinner. A neighborhood spot where locals congregate and New Orleans-style hospitality rules. Indeed it does. Katie's in Mid-City.
1970 was an exciting time in New Orleans. The first Jazz Fest was held, the city hosted its first Super Bowl, and the first Helm Paint location opened on Earhart Boulevard. While the floppy disks, mood rings, and pet rocks may have come and gone since the 70s, Helm Paint has grown to become your premier source for quality Benjamin Moore products, competitive pricing, and personal service. Please visit one of our locations today and we'll meet our competitors' prices on any identical product. Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore, let us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
For us, it's really relationships. And if you care about the relationship, you're going to do the right thing for the customer all the time. When we're in design process of a custom-made piece, I have a test that says, if I wouldn't give this to my wife, I think we should pass and start over. If it's not perfect, it's going back to the shop. We're going to start all the way over. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, insagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, insagency.com.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Yeah, you right. Corey Johnson back at you. If Huey Long was the father of LSU in Baton Rouge, who was the father of UNO? Give me the answer to that. I got 50 big bucks for you. Good at one at the 5 area Woodhouse Day Spa locations. Hey, why did the Navy move their air station from UNO to Belle Chase on the Best Bank? Rouse's Markets phone line, 766-9480. Rouse's Markets phone lines, 766-9480. Who was New Orleans' own Ruth Benarito, the Cotton Queen of New Orleans? Who was Ruth Benarito? 766-9480. A pretty amazing lady. There should be a Ruth Benarito street somewhere in Metairie or New Orleans. Ruth Benarito Parkway. Should be. Rouse's Markets phone lines, 766-9480. I love Allen Toussaint Boulevard instead of Robert E. Lee. Got no problem with that. Grew up around Robert E. Lee, used to that. But Allen Toussaint is just a great man, great New Orleanian, had something to do with the city. Big improvement, great name, no problems. You could have named Robert E. Lee Ruth Benarito Boulevard easily. It would have fit. It would have been a good fit. Anyway, Rouse's Markets phone line, 766-9480. Those are all hints. The OIG sending a letter to the sheriff's office. Hey, you guys need to keep records and accounting, essentially. Keep track of the money you spend. Wow, that is just a ready, fire, aim type of situation. Sheriff Susan Hutson literally learning to be sheriff on the fly in a major city with a violent crime problem, with a jail problem, consent decree of her own, doesn't know how to do a budget or balance the checkbook, learning on the fly. I mean, it's a joke. It's a joke. Only in New Orleans, this Fox 8 story. Did you see this? Mid-city, right by Bracadas, right off Canal Street, right off Bienville. I think it was Saturday night. It's kind of a neighborhood parade rolls in, like a pickup truck pulling a flatbed trailer that had like a kind of a roof built on it, and about 25 or 30 people partying, drinking, boozing up, open containers, getting pulled around in this truck. And then a bunch of people on foot, and then some people on horseback. And the horse is like riding on the sidewalk and just so, hey, let's stop the vehicle right here. Stop by like Bracadas, the red door right there. What's the Wits Ends across the street? Venetia right there. Just sort of stopped in the right lane. Now, I know you're going to think that's crazy. But in New Orleans, on like Claiborne and some other streets, people just stop in the right lane when they could pull over and park to let someone else or put on the hazards and just sit there. I know you think it's crazy, but it happens every now and then. Happens every day, all day. I love the folks coming out of Hollygrove, going across Carrollton, crossing Carrollton to go northbound on Carrollton. There's a car in the median, in the neutral ground. There's only room for one vehicle. They pull up and block the far left lane and the middle lane. It's just mind-blowing. I mean, some belligerent person's just going to T-bone that type of driver one day. And it'll be the guy in the street's fault, not the person driving that T-boned you. I just don't understand people. Just like, okay, I can't go. There's traffic coming. Screw them. I'll make them wait so I don't have to wait. No, you have to wait. There's traffic coming. You're not free to go yet. It's mind-blowing. I'll block 2 lanes of Carrollton. Every day that happens. And then I love on veterans, the U-turns on vets. Instead of going one U-turn past where you need to go so you can merge in and go over 3 lanes to get where you're going, they just stop, and then you have to wait for all traffic to pass because they're essentially hooking a right turn out of the U-turn lane, going 3 lanes across immediately instead of going one more U-turn lane down. I mean, all Veterans Boulevard is U-turn lanes. You can go one more down. It's about another 8 seconds, literally like 8 to 10 seconds. The whole thing's going to take you maybe another 30 seconds of your time merging into traffic properly. Sometimes you'll even be ahead of sitting at the other U-turn waiting for all traffic to pass. You've merged in with the flowing traffic. But no, you'd rather sit there selfishly, 30 seconds, 40 seconds, make everyone else wait and cut 3 lanes over. No, people, all races, all creeds, all socioeconomic levels. It's like littering in New Orleans. Black, white, Republican, Democrat. Just got a bunch of clowns out there that litter. Got a bunch of clowns that drive like this all the time. So yeah, in New Orleans on a Saturday night, this crew just driving around in a pickup truck with a flatbed with a walking club, with horseback riders, no permit, no police escort, just we're taking over the street. Probably could have got away with it if they would have just, been sort of low-key about it, had a little bit of respect. But instead, they just kind of have that, I don't know the attitude, sort of, this belligerent attitude, sort of this lawlessness attitude. We're taking over this block mentality. And there's nothing you can do about it. We're stopping the truck. We've got a big crowd. We're buzzed. And we've got even people on horseback. What are you 2, 3, 5, 8, 10 people going to do about it? We have a mob of people. Now, here's the beautiful thing. I don't know if the NOPD's picked up any of these people yet, but, folks, especially that get alcohol in them, that adults that act like they're in a fraternity or something, like they're 18 years old and some active told the pledge to go out and, do something crazy. But they're not a pledge. They're not 18 years old. They're not a freshman in college. They're like grown adults. No, they get a little alcohol in them. It's like January 6th, like deliberate criminals that don't know they're criminals that are criminals and don't care, whatever. They're dumb. That's why they're doing criminal activity. That's why they're getting drunk in public and doing stupid stuff like blocking the street, having a bad attitude, taking over. Like, that's not a party or fun. That's just sort of some weird, goofy power trip. But there's a lot of folks shooting video, and there's lots of folks that are basically being belligerent criminals that want to get in the video to show how belligerent of a criminal they can be. So the NOPD, I think, will soon be making arrests based off of this video. But it's like freedom of speech and First Amendment. It's sacred. It's precious. You can't abuse it. The right to protest, you can't abuse it. New Orleans is a big party city. Should you get a permit? Sure. But I mean, hey, we're going from our house to Jimmy's house. Come on, everyone. And like 40 people leave one house and walk 2 blocks down to some other house. No harm, no foul. But if they start getting foul and start causing harm, then that's a problem. A truck with a flatbed, block a lane on Carrollton, kind of go by some businesses where you're on the sidewalk on horseback, where you have families going in and out of Bricado and Venetia, restaurant with families. I mean, the Red Door is a bar. They can handle it, I guess. But even then, can you get your car out of the slot in front, or is the truck and trailer blocking, or a crowd of 40 people? It was just sort of like the poor man's party school bus. It's just like a pickup truck pulling a flatbed truck with some kind of railing and roof on it with a bunch of people partying. They pulled over, didn't park, and just got out and kind of disrupted stuff. Check it out on Fox 8. Boy, the Catholic Church, just the Archdiocese, just reeling. Stories over the weekend, having to consolidate more parishes, sell off more property, more churches to pay off lawsuits against victims of the Archdiocese, former priests, brothers, molesting kids. It's just sad. I mean, I'm Catholic. I grew up in the Catholic Church in New Orleans. I'm still proudly Catholic. I can't help the problems. Every group anywhere has some kind of problem, whatever. This is grotesque. It was hidden. It's ridiculous. You can sit there and go, the chickens are coming home to roost. They deserve what they get. Yin, yang, karma, Jesus, God, justice, whatever. You can say whatever you like. I'm not complaining or any of that. I'm just telling you how it is. I mean, in the 70s, first you had so many masses on Saturday and Sunday. And then post-Katrina, that was cut in half. Half the amount on Saturday, half the amount on Sunday, and then maybe half the attendance. Then you throw in Corona crisis and now these lawsuits, and the Catholic Church, the Archdiocese in New Orleans, still strong to the core, but boy, a shell of what it was from the 1970s coming right back.
Being a part of people's lives, from an engagement ring to a wedding band. Before you know it, the wedding day is here and groom and bride are exchanging gifts on that day. And not too long after that, there's baby gifts to have. And I just enjoy being part of other people's family, saying, Mr. Friend did my engagement ring and he did my mom and dad's engagement ring. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
For over 120 years, New Orleans' very own Leidenheimer French bread.
What actually lasts a lifetime? Not much, but at Helm Paint, we have something guaranteed to last a lifetime. Benjamin Moore's Regal Select. This paint and primer in one offers cutting-edge waterborne technology, smooth application, and long durability. Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore, your New Orleans paint store.
The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, it's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. And it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof, now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anyway. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets has daily lunch specials Monday through Friday, and their entire lunch menu is available too. Open 11 a.m. through 2:30 p.m. For the finest in Sicilian and Italian cuisine, Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets.
It's time to relax. The Woodhouse Day Spa, Metro New Orleans' premier day spa experience, now with 5 area locations. For a day of relaxation or maybe just a quick 1-hour getaway, the Metro area's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa. And now 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and our newest location in Mandeville. The Woodhouse Day Spa, woodhousespas.com.
Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, full or part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
From the owners of Katie's in Mid-City and Bienvenue in Harahan, an old school deli with over a dozen specialty sandwiches. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Yeah, you, right. Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson back at you. Got 50 big bucks for you. Good at the Woodhouse Day Spa. Who was New Orleans' own Ruth Benarito? You could call her the Cotton Queen of New Orleans, but that would be understating it greatly. Rouse's Markets phone line, 766-9480. 766-9480. If Huey Long was the father of LSU in Baton Rouge, who was the father of UNO out by the lakefront? Rouse's Markets phone line, 766-9480. Hey, speaking of UNO, before it was UNO, it was the Naval Air Station. Why did they leave the lakefront and move to Belle Chase? Rouse's Markets phone lines, 766-9480. You got answers to any of these 3 questions? I got 50 big bucks for you. Good at the Woodhouse Day Spa. Perfect jumpstart for the holiday season, guys. You know what she wants. It's Halloween. November 1st is tomorrow. Thanksgiving's 3.5 weeks away. Christmas a month after that. It's right there in front of you. She wants a day of relaxation to the Woodhouse Day Spa. 766-9480 is how you participate in the program. The OIG, Office of Inspector General Ed Michel, they send a letter to the sheriff's office saying, basically, you don't keep records. You don't do accounting. No one knows where the money's going. You don't know where the money's going. There's this Brass Requisition Accounting Services System, acronym known as BRASS. The rest of city government uses it. Get on it already. Channel 4, a scathing report reporting the David Trottenberg story, the old sheriff employee, the whistleblower, misuse of public funds, the hotel rooms over Mardi Gras. wrongful termination lawsuit against the sheriff's office. He also mentions in the story that claims dozens of those hotel rooms went unused, and also that the sheriff was in or is in a relationship with Morales, the deputy sheriff, who was fired from the OIG's office for theft. Crazy. Check out the Fox 8 story, this mobile party, a truck pulling a flatbed full of people boozing and folks on horseback, folks walking, kind of taking over that lane of Carrollton right in front of Angelo Bracata's Venetia, the Red Door Bar. Got a little crazy on Saturday night there. The Catholic Church, the Archdiocese of New Orleans, reeling, having to consolidate more parishes, sell off property, churches to pay off lawsuits. These kids that were molested years ago, decades ago, by priest brothers within the Archdiocese. NOLA.com, Times-Picayune, best gumbo spots. Who doesn't love a good gumbo, especially when it's cold like this? Any Brennan's restaurant has great gumbo. It's crazy. They're all a little different. They're all excellent. That's a good start. Let's hit the phone lines. The Rouse's Markets phone lines. 504 is the area code. 766-9480. Dwight joins us in New Orleans. What up, Dwight?
Yes.
Dwight.
Yes, I'm here.
You're live on the radio and television and YouTube.
How about that?
Yes. Technology 2023. It's amazing. What's happening, Dwight?
Oh, nothing much. Just a beautiful day.
It is a little cloudy and overcast, but like 60 out there feels like 55, man. A little cool and brisk, windy.
Definitely.
Yep. Anyway, what's happening? What's on your mind?
Well, I think the founding father for UNO was Earl K. Long.
Earl Long? Well, I said who was the father of LSU, Huey Long, who was the father of UNO. You're saying Earl is brother?
Yes, Earl K. Long.
Why would you say that?
Well, I knew he was the governor at that time, around 1958.
I think the library's named after him on that campus, isn't it?
Yeah, how about that?
Yep.
Yeah.
And the dedication ceremony, he was there doing it, Dwight. Hey, Dwight, you are correct.
Yeah, you're right.
Ding, ding, ding. What do we have for her, Johnny?
Huey Long, the father of LSU Baton Rouge, and Earl wanted that kind of legacy and kind of hitched his wagon to UNO. And there's a story from a very reliable source that I unequivocally trust, so I know it's true, that a state trooper poured out like half a can of Coke out back behind the stage and then pulled out a flask and topped off the Coke can and handed that Coke to Earl Long during the ribbon cutting ceremony. So the Coke he was drinking was a, Jack Daniels and Coke or something like that.
How about that?
Yep. Earl Long, he was definitely different than Huey. Huey was driven and motivated and passionate, right or wrong, illegal or it's correct. And Earl was just sort of, not a half-wit, but nowhere near like his brother. Anyway.
Flamboyant, I would say.
Yeah, Huey was flamboyant and Earl was not. Huey was affable, Earl was not. Yep.
Okay.
Hey, Dwight, hang on. I got 50 big bucks for you, okay?
Okay.
Excellent. Dwight in New Orleans, picking up 50 big bucks to the Woodhouse Day spot. Yeah. If Huey Long was the father of LSU Baton Rouge, his brother Earl was the father of UNO. What's that, Blue Boy? 5 o'clock power hours next. Good way to end it. Dwight, New Orleans, picking up 50 big bucks. You're right, Blue Boy. He's going to the Woodhouse. Or some pretty lady in his life is. Blue Boy's right. 5 o'clock powwow next.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson on TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube, on radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
Hi, it's Ken Friend from Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business. Come see us over on Maple Street in Uptown.
Friend & Company Fine Jewelers, Breitling time, 5 p.m.
Ford F-150, #1 seller in America. What about in the USA? Let's see, what about in the world? Who sells more trucks than Ford? Nobody. It's because the Lamar team is the real team. All that makes it happen is one goal. Everybody having a great experience at Lamar Ford. We became #1 for a reason, because we're good. And we need to prove it every day, every deal, all the time.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, insagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, insagency.com.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot.
The Neutral Ground with Corey Johnson.
Susan Spicer joining us on the program.
Even when they presented me the award, the people that I look up to the most, Frank was there and Donald Link was there. It does cause you to reflect back and think about your whole career.
Maybe the Stella Brennan Award says that to you, like I've arrived.
It certainly is kind of the ultimate honor when it comes to cooking and hospitality in New Orleans and the world.
New Orleans style talk gumbo, served daily.
Doesn't get much better than that, huh? Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Hi, this is Joey Helm. My dad, Bunky Helm, had a vision of a locally family-owned store serving the residential and commercial paint needs of New Orleans. I think Dad would be proud of today's Helm Paint and Decorating, and here's why. We have the best technical staff in the business, providing the best color matching service in Southeast Louisiana. Perfect matching for any color and any brand. And we'll save your colors so you don't have to save those old cans. Helm Paint offers free 2-hour delivery. Our in-store decorators will assist you on deciding what color and type of paint to best showcase your home. But most importantly, as your local independent Benjamin Moore dealer, our products provide the greatest value in the paint industry. Superior coverage, and Benjamin Moore paint simply covers better and lasts longer. New Orleans is a city of vibrant color, and no one else provides the paints of New Orleans like Helm Paint and Decorating. Visit any of our 6 locations or online at helmpaint.com.
Helm Paint, Helm Paint, let us do you right. Helm Paint and Supply.
Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
5 generations, family owned and operated. Leidenheimer French bread.
Rouse's, New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's has the only full-service grocery stores both in the French Quarter on Royal Street and in the CBD on Baronne in the old Sewell Cadillac building. The Rouse's on the river, Tchoupitoulas at Napoleon, is in a century-old warehouse. And uptown on Ferret at the corner of Valence is Rouse's all-new boutique store. With 7 locations in Orleans Parish, Rouse's is New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's Markets. Taste like home.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Interlocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Interlocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Interlocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
For us, it's really relationships. And if you care about the relationship, you're going to do the right thing for the customer all the time. When we're in design process of a custom made piece, I have a test that says, if I wouldn't give this to my wife, I think we should pass and start over. If it's not perfect, it's going back to the shop. We're going to start all the way over. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
We've been catching flack for this intro. We're going to break the law and continue to do it and make fun of people that are overweight by calling them fat man. We're not going to do it to women, just men. Listen to them. They're cheering, fat man. Fat man. Then they even start teasing him. Nah, 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 nah. It's just not right. We're against it, actually. We agree with the authorities. We're going to stop it. Mr. Drew Brees doing the right thing. You can always count on wholesome Drew Brees to do the right thing and stop that abusive fat man song. Corey Johnson back at you. 5 o'clock powwow. Well, yeah, you're right, on a Tuesday afternoon. Brought to you by Leidenheimer Baking Company. They've been baking their wonderful Leidenheimer French bread in the city of New Orleans since 1896. 3 centuries into their 3rd century of baking that Leidenheimer French bread right here in the city. That's over 125 years. 5 generations family owned and operated. As New Orleans as it gets. Good to the last crumb. Leidenheimer French bread. Leidenheimer Baking Company. I might do it again tonight. I did it last week. Got some Leidenheimer. Heated it up in the oven for about 10 minutes. And then I had some room temperature whipped butter. I mean, I ate about twice. That's not really accurate. About 3 times as much as I should have of the bread and the butter. Almost like wrecked the main course of the meal. It's just so good. You know, piping hot, crispy Leidenheimer. That the crust is crispy. You break it open. The steam comes out. The inside's hot. You put the room temperature butter on it. It just melts right away. It is good to the last crumb. The 5 o'clock powwow brought to you by Leidenheimer Baking Company. Corey Johnson with you on a Tuesday afternoon. The OIG, the Office of Inspector General, City of New Orleans, Ed Michel, sending a letter to the sheriff, Susan Hudson's office. Basically, hey, no records, no accounting. You don't even know where the money's going. Why don't you get on the city's budget requisition accounting services system, also known as BRASS? That's the acronym. And stay on top of this. But Susan Hudson continues to just be learning on the fly. And how much learning's going on, we do not know. There doesn't seem to be an emphasis on that. Just sort of a cockiness and a, hey, I got elected. I get to put on this uniform and I'm in control and not in control of the accounting. Over the weekend, Channel 4, a Pearlstein story. David Trottenberg, who was the whistleblower, complaining, squawking, about the hotel rooms over Mardi Gras, not needed. Now he's saying dozens of them went unused. He also said that Sherriff Hutson was in or is in a relationship with Morales, her deputy sheriff. Now, I told you all along, I don't even care about that part necessarily. I'll tell you the only part of that part I care about. It's similar to the mayor with Vappy. All I'm concerned with and all I've talked about for the last year is that Hudson and Morales are friends. They're pals. They live together. They shared an apartment, a house. I knew all that. I knew she got fired by the Office of Inspector General for theft, and then immediately gets hired by her friend for like a $65,000 raise, going from 90 grand, a really nice salary in New Orleans. I would say 75% of New Orleanians would take $90,000 a year as their salary. And then she gets a raise for stealing, going to another city entity, making $155,000, working for her pal or her friend or ex-roommate. According to Trottenberg, they were, in a relationship. Just crazy. Sherriff Hutson, just get on the BRASS system, the Budget Requisition Accounting Services system. Doesn't want to get on it because doesn't want to know where the money's going, because knows the money's going to the wrong places, knows the money's being spent inefficiently, knows just throwing money around. 70 million's the budget, requested 15 million more from City Hall, couldn't come up with reasons to get it. Couldn't come up with, where are you spending the 70? Oh, just trust me, we're spending it. We need 15 million more. City Council said, no. David Trottenberg has a wrongful termination lawsuit. He'll probably win that. That'll probably cost the city millions. He probably was wrongfully terminated for being a whistleblower. He's saying dozens of those Mardi Gras hotel rooms went unused. Now, these people in power like Hudson and LaToya Cantrell, I mean, they need someone to sort of to say, act like you've been there before. At least act like you've been there before. My God, it's like, oh my gosh, we don't have to pay for this? It's free? And they're like stuffing their pockets with it. Get a to-go bag. It's free. Hey, y'all, take everything you can. It's free. I flew on a private jet one time. It was pretty cool. I mean, come on. Me and about 8 other people on a private jet, 4-hour drive taking 40 minutes. You book the jet. It's expensive. I was a guest. It's a few grand ahead. When you get on that private jet, the pilots take all your stuff. You get inside, and inside there is wine and food and all kind of stuff. And you're welcome to it. Did we open up all the drawers in the jet and steal all the candy and every bottle of wine and because we're entitled to it? No. Even I did. I acted like I'd been there before. Took a bag of M&Ms and like a bottled water, something I was actually going to eat and use, not take what I can for later. Act like you've been there before, even if you're not flying on the private jet all the time like me. No, I was lucky. It was a great once-in-a-lifetime type of thing. The mayor, the sheriff, it's like sailors at port, like someone else is paying for it. They just spend the money and don't give a crap. It's pathetic. That's why the mayor goes on all these junkets and doesn't care. Doesn't care. Just wants to pretend. No, and Susan Hudson, my God. Now, when I was talking about her and maybe a relationship with Morales, where I don't care. The only part I care is a subordinate, her boss, like that kind of thing. Vappy, the mayor. That's all I'm concerned with. What I'm concerned with Vappy is abusing the timesheets, hanging out with the mayor, watching Cox TV, watching my show in the Pontalba, and it's on taxpayers' dime. That's what I'm concerned with. Morales hiring her a buddy who isn't qualified as deputy sheriff, paying her $155,000 to do nothing because it's her pal, it's her roommate, maybe her lover. I don't care if it's her lover. But the only part I do care about is subordinate boss situation. There's a reason that's not allowed. Why it's forbidden, because abuse can come into play, even if the people like each other or not. It's to avoid when there's a power trip where someone's going to, in a position of power, control the other person. Crazy. Boy, the Catholic Church, the Archdiocese in New Orleans, over the weekend, consolidating more churches, have to sell off property, raise money, lawsuits to pay off these victims of abuse from these priests and brothers from the past. Sinful. But boy, the church just reeling. Wow. Number 13, LSU. Number 8, Alabama. LSU 6-2, Alabama 7-1. It's LSU Alabama week. They do it from Tuscaloosa, 6:45 this Saturday night on CBS. Either team wins out, they're national champs. It's as simple as that. Either one of these teams wins out, they're national champions. That's how important this game is Saturday night for these two teams. Hey, every day this program on radio, television, live streaming on YouTube, brought to you by the Lamarck Automotive Complex in Kenner, right on the corner, right on the price. The Car Corner, Williams Boulevard and I-10. And also Lamarck Crescent City Ford on Jefferson Highway, the legendary Ford truck dealership. That's right, under the Lamarck umbrella. Every day this program, The Neutral Ground with me, brought to you by the Lamarck Automotive Complex, and now Lamarck Crescent City Ford.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live. We live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love, more. When you do something, you have to do it right. You know, it's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
Custom window treatments can enhance the look and value of your home. At Helm Paint and Decorating, we're proud to offer custom plantation-style window shutters by Scandia. Perfect for any window, including large frames, French doors, sliding doors, and arches. American-made SL300 shutters are available in many colors to match your personal decor. We'll come out to measure, and you'll receive fast delivery. Plus, they're virtually maintenance-free.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore let us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day. By river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, full or part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com.
There's a Middle Eastern restaurant that's less than 5 minutes from where Causeway and River Road meet, Lebanon's Cafe. Convenient to Old Metairie and Old Jefferson. Carrollton at Jeanette on the streetcar line, Lebanon's Cafe. Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
When a young man comes in and they walk into our store, and you can see they're a little intimidated. Last week, I saw the young man. I said, "Hey, what can I do to give you a hand?" And he said, "Well, I'm here for an engagement ring, but I don't think I'm in the right place." So I got him to my desk, and within an hour, he had purchased an engagement ring, had spent $1,000, and he was treated like he spent a lot more, and I'm sure we have a customer for life. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
Served in New Orleans' finest restaurants, Leidenheimer French bread.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River Total maintenance keeps you cool. NolaAC.com, your cool spot. River Cities, total maintenance keeps you cool. NolaAC.com, your cool spot.
Fausto's Italian Bistro on Veterans Boulevard, where the brothers Fausto and Roland are serving some of the city's finest Sicilian and Italian cuisine. From New Orleans' first family of Sicilian and Italian cooking, Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets.
It really is the first family of Sicilian and Italian cooking. You got Fausto, his brother Roland owned Fausto's. Their sister owns Irene's restaurant in the French Quarter with her son Nicholas. I mean, they know what's going on. Have you been to Irene's in the Quarter? So good. That chicken with the olive oil and the rosemary and the garlic, it's the best version of that anywhere, any place, anytime. The chicken, the roasted chicken with the olive oil, garlic, rosemary, some new potatoes. It's outstanding. The best version of that dish anywhere. Crab meat au gratin, Irene's in the Quarter. The best example of crab meat au gratin anywhere. It's not just jumbo lump crab meat and like Kraft American cheese, which, by the way, you could put cinder blocks, crab meat on cinder blocks, it would be good. No, it's like 3, different cheeses. I forget the 3. I asked Nicholas this one time. He told me Gruyère's one. I forget the other 2. And then it's Louisiana jumbo lump crab meat, and it's a lot of it. These little crispy, toasty things to ladle it on, put a little lemon on it. It's just outstanding. It's the best crab meat au gratin anywhere. It's hard for me to go there and not get the crab meat au gratin to start and that chicken as an entree. But I've done it before. They've got a bunch of great dishes. Like they'll have like a flounder special with grilled shrimp on top. You won't be disappointed at Irene's in the Quarter. So good. Like friends from out of town, where do we go eat in New Orleans? I'm telling you where it's located on Iberville. The old building it's in an old radio building. I'm not saying that like I'm biased. I love radio. It's the old WNOE radio building. It's like a 3-story brick you-know-what house. The restaurant takes up the first floor. It's like the old restaurant on the other side of the Quarter, like 3 little slots, 3 little separate dining rooms. And then a big bar area where you can sit at the bar or sit at tables around the bar. And then beyond the bar is a private room, which is fantastic. And then through the, doors, you're on the back patio, dining outside. Now, Irene's is one of the city's best restaurants, one of the city's best experiences, great Creole, Italian, Sicilian, New Orleans food. Irene is such a sweet, wonderful lady, a great chef. Her son, Nicholas, is, trained in Italy. He knows what's going on. No, and then Fausto's on Vets. When I say the first family, it really is of Sicilian and Italian. Love Irene's. Overdue for Irene's. Got me scratching my head. Maybe I go to Irene's tonight and get a little crab meat au gratin and chicken. Could go with friends. No one's available. Sit at the bar by myself if I have to. I might do that now that I'm talking about it. Thinking about dinner. Nothing wrong with Irene's. And it's priced right. Hey, I got a few $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificates to give away. If Huey Long was the father of LSU Baton Rouge, who was the father of UNO? Earl Long, Huey's brother. What caused the Navy to move their air base from UNO, what would become UNO, from the lakefront to Belle Chase, to the West Bank? Give me the answer to that. I got 50 big bucks for you at the Woodhouse. Who was New Orleans' own Ruth Benarito? I'd say the cotton queen of New Orleans, but that would be a ridiculous understatement. She finished high school at 14. She entered Newcomb, Tulane at 15 years old. She graduated from Tulane Newcomb at 19 years old. She finished with 3 degrees, not a major and 2 minors, 3 majors, 3 degrees. She majored in chemistry. She majored in physics. She majored in math. That's like kryptonite to me. Chemistry, physics, and math. She did this. Both her father and mother, her mother, turn of the century, 1920s, was a college graduate, a woman. So was Ruth Benarito, triple degree, chemistry, physics, math. In 1953, she started working on Allen Toussaint Boulevard. She's got like 50 patents herself. Who was New Orleans' own Ruth Benarito? I'll tell you what, a genius at the very least when it came to chemistry. Rouse's Markets phone lines, 766-9480. You got answers? I got 50 big bucks for you. Good at one of the 5 area Woodhouse locations. Rouse's Markets phone line, 766-9480. 766-9480. Hey, Latrim is hiring. East Bankers, West Bankers. Latrim's got you covered at their Elmwood facility. North Shore folks, Latrim's got you covered at their I-12 facility. Dozens and dozens and dozens of jobs available at their website, latrim.com. For a full listing of positions available, go to latrim.com. Latrim spelled L-A-I. T-R-A-M, latrim.com. The Office of Inspector General, City of New Orleans, Ed Michelle, sending a letter to the Sheriff, Susan Hutson. Hey, you might want to consider getting on Budget Requisition Accounting Services System, a.k.a. BRASS. You know, what the rest of the City of New Orleans uses, because you have no records, no accounting. No one knows where the money's going. Channel 4 had a story over the weekend. David Trottenberg, who was wrongfully terminated, according to David. He has a lawsuit against the sheriff's office. He was the whistleblower. Misuse of funds. Those hotel rooms. Now he's saying dozens of those hotel rooms paid for, not even used. Not even used. He also says the sheriff is or was in a relationship with Kristen Morales, second in charge. Absolutely crazy. I don't care about Kristen Morales and Susan Hutson in a relationship. I care about Susan Hutson hiring her friend Kristen Morales as number 2 when she got fired from the OIG's office for theft. Then they're buddies, they're roommates, allegedly in a relationship. I don't even care if they're in a relationship. I knew they were friends. I knew they lived together. That enough for me was a conflict of interest. And then she goes from OIG's office getting fired, earning $90,000 a year, to going to the sheriff's office and doing who knows what, earning $155,000 a year. It's obnoxious. No one knows where the money's going. These hotel rooms not used. No, the only thing I'm concerned with the relationship, it's like the mayor and Vappy, subordinate and boss, that type of relationship. You know, someone in power, someone beneath them in a relationship. Those things need to be avoided. The best advice I can tell anyone that is in a working environment, you want to date someone at work, you better be in love with them and they better be in love with you, and y'all better be sure of it. Because it's just not worth it. The relationship's going to end. One of you won't be working there after it. Both of you may not be working there. There might be rules where no inter-office dating relationships. This Fox 8 story, you need to check it out on their website. Mid-City, right off Bienville and Canal Street, this mobile party, a truck with a trailer full of a bunch of people partying, people walking, following it, people on horseback. Saturday night, Parking in the right lane on Carrollton is sort of taking over that block in front of the Red Door, Venetia, Bracadas. Crazy. Just sort of a belligerent lawlessness attitude. Kind of we're taking over the block type of mentality. If they would have been more low key, I don't think people would be rushing to send in video to the authorities and hope they get arrested. Hey, TV audience, see you mañana, straight up 4 o'clock. Every weekday afternoon, 4 to 5:30 on TV. Cox Channel 4 television, New Orleans, Baton Rouge, Lafayette. Spectrum Channel 333 television, Slidell, Covington, Mandeville. That's Trey Yen country. So good. Had a to-go order today from Trey Yen. Spectrum Channel 333 in Hammond, Houma, Thibodaux, Opelousas, all over the state on television, 4 to 5:30. On radio, oh so fine, 93.9 FM, 4 to 6 o'clock, 2 big hours. Live streaming, KareTalks.com, 4 to 6 o'clock, 2 big hours. Live on YouTube right now, 4 to 6 o'clock weekdays. The Neutral Ground with Corey Johnson on YouTube. Click to subscribe to our YouTube channel. I don't know about you, but I'm running heat right now at my house. I've got it like set on 71, something like that. But the heat's on, not the AC, and the unit is not turned off. And the heat will be running overnight, I guarantee you. If you're just turning on your heat and there's a funny smell or it's a funny noise, doesn't seem to be heating like last year, or worse, not working at all, don't stress out. You call River City's Total Maintenance. They'll get your heat working tonight. You won't have to sleep in the cold or go to a hotel or the in-laws. Honest air conditioning and heating experts that come immediately. That's River City's Total Maintenance. That's all you need to know. If you need heat help, NOLAAC.com, River City's Total Maintenance. If you need heat help, they'll get it working this afternoon, tonight. River City's Total Maintenance, NOLAAC.com. Corey Johnson with you. NOLA.com, Times-Picayune. Best gumbo spots in New Orleans by readers. I mean, I would have to say any Brennan's restaurant, any one, it doesn't matter. All the gumbos are a little different at every Brennan's restaurant, and they're all really good. And I like the presentation. I don't mind that part, like the bowl, and they come and they take the silver ladle thing and pour the gumbo out of that, and it's usually piping hot coming out of that. I don't mind rice in my gumbo, but I don't have to have rice in my gumbo, and no potato salad in my gumbo. I don't know where that tradition came from. That kind of goes in like the, shrimp and grits in New Orleans. Does it exist? Sure. Do people eat grits? Sure. Are grits like a staple in New Orleans? Not at all. Do some people like grits? Yes, of course. Grits are a Southern meal, more a Georgia, South Carolina, Mississippi Delta, Alabama, much more, maybe North Louisiana more than South Louisiana. Do we have restaurants that serve grits? Of course. It's not like a staple dish here. It's like the potato salad and the gumbo. I don't know. I would argue that's not like the most 110% local thing. Maybe I'm wrong. But then again, how could it not be? Who's ordering gumbo outside of, like, I don't know, outside of New Orleans? I mean, I would order gumbo in Baton Rouge. I'd order gumbo in Lafayette, anywhere in Cajun country. Yeah, after that, I'd start getting real hesitant if I'm going to order gumbo. I'm not ordering gumbo in like a Southern Mississippi, South Alabama, Florida. It would have to be the chefs from New Orleans, worked in New Orleans restaurants for years, loves New Orleans seafood. It would have to be that kind of thing for me to try gumbo or trout meuniere or something like that, trout almondine. Outside of New Orleans, Baton Rouge, Cajun country type of thing. Corey Johnson with you. No, you go to any Brennan's restaurant, you're going to get a real great gumbo. and all of them are a little different. I mean, Brightson's, that chicken andouille gumbo is absolutely amazing. It really is. Hey, best quality, best price, best selection. They've been doing it over 60 years. There's over 60 Rouses all over South Louisiana, all over southern Mississippi and southern Alabama now. The Gulf Coast's grocery store, Louisiana's grocery store, New Orleans grocery store. There are 20 plus Rouses in Metro New Orleans. A third of all Rouses are in Metro New Orleans. Like I said, best quality, best price, best selection. Tastes like home, Rouses Markets. You heading home from work? You might pass 2 or 3 Rouses on the way home. There are 4 Rouses Markets within 10 minutes of my house. 4. One is about 6 minutes away. The other 3 are about 9 or 10 minutes away. 4 Rouses Markets within 10 minutes of my house. Corey Johnson with you on a Tuesday. Diverging diamond interchange. It's actually smart. People, I think, will figure it out pretty quickly. Just follow the arrows. Go where the road tells you. Don't overthink it. The first time I experienced one, I was like, what the hell? I'm in Britain for 50 yards. There is a diverging diamond interchange off I-10 in southern Mississippi, of all places, right past the main Biloxi exits, that D'Iberville exit by some of those car dealerships. They have a diverging diamond interchange where you're exiting like off the interstate on the right. When you turn to go left, you're not crossing traffic. You just turn left. So you're going down the road, driving on the left side of the road. And then you hit a stoplight, and that puts you on the right side of the road. They call it a diverging diamond interchange. It, in theory, eliminates one traffic light and makes the traffic flow better in that area. And if you look at it on paper, it makes sense. It's pretty smart. I'm also a big fan of traffic circles. Those are genius. They work. They're effective. Some people are like, that elevated one at Airline and Causeway. I've seen people literally, it appears at least, I'm glad I'm in my vehicle, it looks like they pooped in their pants. They rise up. They're all making noises. Hazard lights go on. It's a simple merging situation. Just look to your left. Any traffic coming? No, go. You don't have to stop. That's what's great about a traffic circle, too. You only stop if you have to. Traffic's coming in the circle. It's all yield signs. Just flow. Get off at any of the 4 spots or 3. You entered on one, the other 3. At least 3. Some traffic circles have more. No, traffic circles are really genius. Eliminate traffic lights entirely. And diverging diamond interchanges appear to be pretty effective. Just don't overthink it and you'll be fine. I'm driving on the left side of the road. Boy, when I was a kid in the 70s, there were the Catholic Church expanded to Saturday Mass so they could generate more money because some people, they might miss Sunday Mass. There was a conflict. So they made it where Saturday Mass counted for Sunday Mass. You could knock out the Sunday Mass on Saturday and you were covered. Some people preferred it. Some people did it to take, advantage of, I'm out of town Sunday, may not get back in time. Catholic Church was a money generator. Now, forget about that. I mean, I'm looking at just Jesus and faith and all that. When I was a boy growing up, lot more family, lot less divorce. Divorce was just coming into vogue in the 70s. Before that, a lot of families toughed it out. Maybe good or bad for the family. Maybe good or bad for the husband and wife. But they toughed it out, and then some after that 1 year, 3 year, 5 year, 7 year rocky road. They got over and they ended up staying married for decades after. kept the family together, whatever. Not telling you to do that. That's right or wrong. Just it's different now. Divorce is a lot easier. Just pull lever. When I used to go to church, I mean, in my neighborhood, it was just ridiculous. Growing up by Lakeview, Lakefront, Gentilly area, 5 o'clock, St. Pius, 6:30, Cabrini on Paris Avenue, 7 o'clock, St. Raphael on Elysian Fields. You miss any of those, you could do 9 o'clock at St. John the Baptist, right there on the Pontchartrain Expressway with the golden steeple. There are a bunch of other churches, morning masses, noon, whenever. Saturday and Sunday. Then Katrina hit. And literally, it changed the Archdiocese of New Orleans. It changed the Catholic Church, the parishes overnight. Churches and parishes were consolidated. 2 became 1. Churches and church property sold off or just abandoned. Mothballed. And then masses were cut. A lot of Saturday services were cut. A lot of Sunday services are cut. And then the number of people going to each one was cut. I remember in the 70s, I mean, almost any mass we went to, St. Pius at 5 o'clock, standing room only. Cabrini at 6:30, pretty much standing room only. You had the glassed-in area that was pretty full. You had some pews outside, like in the foyer area, if you had loud kids or whatever. Pretty full. 7 o'clock, St. Raphael on Elysian Fields, pretty full. That's just my area of town. So all of a sudden, you've got half as many services and half as many people going. So if there were 100 people going to 10 churches, all of a sudden it's half the churches, it's 5 churches, and it's 50 people going. Or I should say less than that. They're half full. It'd be like 25%. So if you had 100 people going to 10 churches, it's all of a sudden 5 churches and 25 people going. And like pro sports, like professional football, like pro sports that went from blue collar, the working fan, to white collar, suites and high-end tickets, club, to corporate, people paying gobs of money for Super Bowl tickets and high-end seats and the like. The Archdiocese in New Orleans, around the country, the Catholic Church has done the same thing. From just the working class, handing out the giving, little basket, $1, $5, $10, maybe a 20, just some people change in an envelope. It was just blue collar, citizens, individuals. Then it got more, let's go after some of the white collar folks, the rich and wealthy. Let's go after corporate donors. Let's go after millionaires. We don't need hundreds of thousands of people giving a few bucks. We can go to 20 people that give a few million. And they had to, because you went from twice as many churches with twice as many services with capacity crowd to half as many churches, half as many services, churches half full. I mean, from the 70s to like Katrina, then that slow, demise continued. You throw in the natural drop-off after Katrina, toss in coronavirus crisis, and now these lawsuits. And my God, the New Orleans Archdiocese, the Catholic Church in New Orleans is reeling. I would love to get Archbishop Amen on the program. I just don't know if Archbishop Amen would want to come on the program. But I'll have to work on it. You got to ask for it to happen. Hey, why aren't you at Katie's restaurant right now in Mid-City? World Series action, Katie's in Mid-City, Monday Night Football, Thursday Night Football, Sunday Night Football, any and all NFL action on the big screens, the flat screens at Katie's in Mid-City. Pelicans, of course, Katie's in Mid-City, all your Pelicans games. Tulane fans, the Waves 7-1. They're 21st ranked in the land. Tiger fans, LSU 13th ranked, 6-2. All your Green Wave and Tiger action, college football headquarters, the flat screens, the big screens at Katie's in Mid-City. The beautiful thing about Katie's, it's not some sports bar serving nasty, terrible food. It's the opposite. It's the quintessential New Orleans neighborhood restaurant serving big portions of great New Orleans specialties, old school, a taste of New Orleans, a mid-city mainstay that just happens to have a lot of flat screen TVs, great for your sports viewing in the fall. And right now we got it all. World Series baseball, NBA starting up, NFL rolling, college football, the place to check it all out. Katie's in Mid-City. Why aren't you at Katie's in Mid-City?
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NolaAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NolaAC.com, your cool spot.
The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, it's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. And it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof. Now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anywhere. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
For Leidenheimer Baking Company, producing the perfect French bread is more than a vocation. It's a sacred mission. And for 5 generations, they've used the same time-honored process, baking their signature loaf with its crisp crust and delicate center, unique and still good to the last crumb. From the finest French Quarter restaurants to your local po' boy shop, for over 125 years, New Orleans' own Leidenheimer.
From the owners of Katie's in Mid-City and Bienvenue in Harahan, an old school deli with over a dozen specialty sandwiches. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria.
For us, it's really relationships. And if you care about the relationship, you're going to do the right thing for the customer all the time. When we're in design process of a custom-made piece, I have a test that says, if I wouldn't give this to my wife, I think we should pass and start over. If it's not perfect, it's going back to the shop. We're going to start all the way over. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
You're listening to The Neutral Ground with Corey Johnson.
Cotton Bowl winning coach Willie Fritz joining us on the program. Have you ever been part of a game that great?
A lot of things happen in the game. You just don't know the script. You got to adapt and improvise. You just got to keep playing hard the whole time, and our guys did an excellent job of that.
How big is yesterday for the overall future of the program?
You got to have the guys that really have a burning desire to get a quality education and also be a great football player. You know, you got to have focus.
You've always have embraced New Orleans. You've been a great ambassador for the city, for Tulane University.
Well, I appreciate you saying that. My wife and I just love it here in New Orleans. And just everybody, the city's just sensational. We just a dime for a person who came up to me after game. I had tickets in Tulane Stadium. And, I've heard that a ton of times. And then, that's good that we're able to make some people happy.
That's Willie Fritz joining us.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Roll wave.
The spirit of New Orleans. It's Corey Johnson on the Neutral Ground. Rouse's, New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's has the only full-service grocery stores both in the French Quarter on Royal Street and in the CBD on Baronne in the old Sewell Cadillac building. The Rouse's on the river, Tchoupitoulas at Napoleon, is in a century-old warehouse. And uptown on Ferret at the corner of Valence is Rouse's all-new boutique store. With 7 locations in Orleans Parish, Rouse's is New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's Markets. Taste like home.
Custom window treatments can enhance the look and value of your home. At Helm Paint and Decorating, we're proud to offer custom plantation-style window shutters by Scandia. Perfect for any window, including large frames, French doors, sliding doors, and arches. American-made SL300 shutters are available in many colors to match your personal decor. We'll come out to measure, and you'll receive fast delivery. Plus, they're virtually maintenance-free.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore led us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes, a magazine as unique as you.
Hey guys, it's Frank Smith from LasVegasGambling.com with your weekend 5-star lock of the week, lock of the week, lock of the week. Take the Lakers and the points over the Clippers. Sell the house, sell the boat, sell your children. Send grandma away and take the money. Put everything you've got on this 5-star selection. It's the Lakers over the Clippers, and we've also got a fantastic 5-star parlay as well. Call us now, 888-555-7777. It's Frank Smith, a.k.a. The Hammer, from LasVegasGambling.com. Do it now, now, now.
During that break, I called Frank the Hammer Smith and got a lot of selections. And I did do a reverse mortgage with Tom Selleck over the phone and pulled out some of that cash. And I placed some wagers. Thank you, Frank Smith, the Hammer. His 5-star locks are 5-star locks. Won a lot of money with Frank Smith. Wow. The only blessing is like these gambling outlets are smart. Like when sports gambling came into vogue or came into play in New Orleans and Louisiana a few years ago, just pounding the radio and television. I mean, you go down to some radio stations, it's hard to find an on-air personality that isn't talking about a sports website. You need to ask those on-air personalities, do you gamble or you're just taking the money and pushing the gambling on me? So I don't gamble. I'm not against it. It's legal. I have no problem with it, but I'm not going to push it or promote it when I don't gamble. I'm going to tell you to go spend your money on gaming. I mean, I think overall it's a losing proposition. It's just for fun. Have I ever bet on games? Yeah, I might bet this bowl season on a game or two. Who knows? Haven't done that in years, but makes it a little fun. You got $10 on the game. It's like playing golf, a 3-foot putt for $1. All of a sudden, it seems like it's worth a lot more than that. A lot more on the line. Human nature, whatever. But no, I'm not going to push gambling sites. The blessing is they pushed it big time. So everyone that wanted to gamble got on board. Folks that necessarily wouldn't gamble but just heard the advertisement, oh, I'll get involved in that. Some did it for a little while. Some are addicted now. They've saturated the market. Like, they're not getting me. They can pound the message all day long, and they're not getting me. They're not getting you if you don't gamble. They realize that. So they've cut way back on the advertising. Now these on-air personalities that still do it, it's just sort of a reminder for the gambler or the person that sometimes gamble, hey, you can make the bet, but it's not to lure people in like before. And that's why they're running 10% of the commercials they used to run. And no, I gladly can say I never took any money from those gambling interests promoting sports gambling, and had chances to take lots of money. Over time, it could be tens of thousands of dollars in my pocket to tell you to go see Frank the Hammer Smith at LasVegasGambling.com, this made-up spot I run. You know. Anyway, not going to be doing that here. Good luck with your selections, by the way. I'm sure it is a 5-star lock. Hey, Young's Dry Cleaning is a New Orleans institution. They've been at it since 1940. That's 83 plus years of doing you right. If you're tired of your dry cleaner, looking to experience the best, it's easy. youngsdrycleaning.com.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Interlocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Interlocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Interlocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Being a part of people's lives, from an engagement ring to a wedding band. Before you know it, the wedding day is here and groom and bride are exchanging gifts on that day. And not too long after that, there's baby gifts to have. And I just enjoy being part of other people's family, saying, Mr. Friend did my engagement ring and he did my mom and dad's engagement ring. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
Since 1896, a true taste of New Orleans. Leidenheimer French bread.
It's time to relax. The Woodhouse Day Spa, Metro New Orleans' premier day spa experience, now with 5 area locations. For a day of relaxation or maybe just a quick 1-hour getaway, the Metro area's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa. And now 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and our newest location in Mandeville. The Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
My Sittu, that's Arabic for grandmother, used to make the best football kibbe. You can experience kibbe just like my grandmother used to make, and so many other Middle Eastern favorites on the streetcar line. Lebanon's Cafe.
Hey guys, holiday season's right around the corner. It's Halloween. In 3.5 weeks, it'll be Thanksgiving. A month after that, Christmas. Friend & Company Fine Jewelers has what you need for her. Real natural diamonds at Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. Literally all price points. Diamond stud earrings, diamond tennis bracelets, diamond necklaces, even diamond engagement rings. Real natural diamonds. Some items start at a few $1,000. Some items are tens of thousands of dollars. Friend & Company Fine Jewelers has some items over $100,000. And Ken Friend at Friend & Company Fine Jewelers also has an entire room full of real natural diamonds, stud earrings, tennis bracelets, necklaces, engagement rings. Everything in that room under $1,000. And it's all real natural diamonds. Friend & Company Fine Jewelers this holiday season, guys. Got you covered at every price point with real natural diamonds. Don't get fooled. 3-week-old man-made lab-created diamonds from China. That's a lifetime purchase. You want to think about that in 5 years, 10 years, 20 years? That you sold out yourself and worse, her with that? Real diamonds, natural diamonds. Friend & Company Fine Jewelers on Maple Street in between Broadway and Carrollton. What's that, Blue Boy? Tomorrow, a wide open Wednesday edition of the program. You're right, buddy. What's that mean? You know what it means, Blue, that the audience is the producer. Anything they want to discuss on Wide Open Wednesday. See you tomorrow, straight up 4 o'clock. Be there.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson. On TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube. On radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
Hi, it's Ken Friend from Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business. Come see us over on Maple Street in Uptown.
Friend & Company Fine Jewelers, Breitling time, 6 p.m.